Hi there everybody, Jim Townsend here again. I just wanted to explain to everyone how my chord calculator works. When I got into my tractor accident, I broke all my ribs and I broke my shoulders off from the inside. I crushed the end of my arm, I flattened my hand right flat, I drove a bolt through it, degloved my whole hand, the skin all come off. It was just a big blue bag hanging uselessly on there. This hand was all screwed up. I got out of the hospital, I couldn't use either hand. When I was in the hospital, I'd punctured 3 holes in both of my lungs. I filled my lungs up 90% full of blood. I was down to less than 10% of my capacity. I was too screwed up to put on life support, so they just stuck a thing of drugs in my back and left me there for a week. The second week, I managed to get up and walk around while they were draining all the blood out of my lungs and out of my pleural cavity, and they started checking me for that super virus, and I figured if I got that I was dead. So 13 days after my accident I managed to get myself out of the hospital. Well, they told me I'd have to wait until my lungs got better and I could breathe before they could fix me up, fix my teeth, and try to put my collarbone back together. So for 2 months I did everything I could to exercise my lungs, and went in and they said, well, you know what, your arm's so smashed up, your hand's so smashed up, you're never going to use it, why bother fixing it? And I says, well, you know, why don't we just fix it anyways and leave it up to me? Well, it took me a long time to get my hands working and stuff like that. For over 6 months I lay in bed every day and I meditated. I put my mind to every day. I'd lay there and I'd picture my body back the way it was and my hands working and everything else. And it was over 6 months before I could even use my hand. I'd wanted to make use of my time all my life. I had always wanted to play a musical instrument, so I thought, well, this is a good time to learn music. But in order to understand anything, of course, I'm a systems analyst. I got to break it down into a system to understand it. So while I did this, I also taught my children music. My little banjo, my banjo-lele here, it's actually a ukulele, but I wanted to learn how to play the banjo, so I just strung my ukulele like a banjo. I can play a guitar too, but I just change a couple strings so it's strung like a banjo. And I knew to play bluegrass banjo I'd have to get my fingers working again, and it's been a long, hard road, but it's 3 years now, and got my hand working. Well, I play kind of funny. I got to hang on to it because I can't really feel, but I can get my fingers in the right spot. Now, the first thing, of course, that I learned was the tonic scale. You see, in music, there's a chromatic scale. It goes A sharp, B, C, D sharp, or rather C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, and then back to A. Well, that's called the chromatic scale. And when you do do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, that's the tonic scale. So whenever you play a scale on an instrument, you play. And then if you want to play the thing backwards, now you saw me just play the scale 2 ways. You see, you can hit notes all over the fingerboard wherever you want to. Now that's how you play a voice, just the individual notes. But if you want to play chords, the interesting thing about a banjo is that you can bar chord everything. So this is a G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, G. That's all you got is one scale on the banjolele. So I taught myself little songs like one evening as the sun came down and the jungle fires were burning, on the track came a hobo hunting, and he said, boys, I'm not turning, I'm headed for a land that's far away beside the crystal fountain, so come with me, we'll go and see the big rock candy mountain. I wanted to play Rocky Top. as you can see, I still need a lot of practice. So you can also play this song just by strumming. Trying to get my big fingers onto these little things here is pretty hard, and it's good exercise for them too, though, because you have to force your hands to work. So now let's take a look at my chord calculator here and see if we can figure out how to play music using this. Now you'll notice that actually if you go to Townsend.b, that's http and all that stuff, Townsend.b, okay, and click on the chord calculator, and you can print off one of these chord calculators and make it for yourself. I share first, and if you wish to share with me, yeah, there's a donation button on the page. Don't be afraid of giving me too much money. I live on a disability income, and I'm barely making it, so if you got a couple bucks, I'd really appreciate it. This chord calculator shows you how to make all of the different chords. You can buy all of these different big chord charts and all that other sort of stuff. But this really breaks it down into a system so that you can understand it. Now, whenever you make a major chord, you make a major chord out of 3 notes. So, say if we wanted to find the chord for A, we could look in, it says the chord is a first, a third, and a fifth. So we look at the first, it's an A. We look at the third, it's a C sharp, and we look at the fifth, and it's an E. So an A, a C sharp, and an E make up the chord of A. If we want to find the chord of G, we just move the calculator so it points at a G. We look at the first, the third, and the fifth, and we see the G, the B, and the D. Well, a G, a B, and a D note all make up the G chord. Now, the interesting thing about a banjo is it's strung so that all you have to do is put your finger right across, make a bar chord, and that makes what they call a major chord. Those are major chords. Now you can calculate any kind of chords with this little calculator. If you want to make a minor chord, it's a first, and you drop the third to the minor, and then a fifth. So if I wanted to play an A minor, I'd look for the 1, the M, and the 5. It's an A, a C, and an E is an A minor. So I have, if you look right in the middle of the chord calculator, I show you how to make a major chord, a minor chord, a 7th chord, an augmented chord, and a diminished chord just with this little calculator here. So it's really easy to find any of the chords that you want, and if you have to, just do what I did with my little banjolele here. I just took these little stickers and put it on there what the notes are, and that way you get really familiar with the notes, and you can learn how to play music, which is a wonderful distraction. Now you can also use this for arrangements. So if you want to make an arrangement in the key of A, it shows you how to make that arrangement using the A, the D, the E, and the G. See, when you have something that's written in a certain key, it has notes that go along with that key. So that essentially is my chord calculator. It's a nice, easy to use little calculator. Just go onto my web page, print the thing out, put the one piece onto a piece of cardboard like this. I just use a plastic piece of plastic on the back of it, and put packing tape over it so that it's relatively waterproof. You're drinking beer and playing your guitar, you can spill a beer on it and it'll survive or whatever. And then you just cut out the disc and you set it on the center, and there you go. You got a nifty little chord calculator, so you can go out and make all of the beautiful music in the world and hopefully drown out me as I hit all the wrong notes. Peace, y'all. Love you. Bye-bye.